gotta be my imagination.
I think it's an invasion.
I think it's an innovation.
DJ Skinny.
They not for round.
Let's go.
Who that? Who that? Who that?
Respect the DJ.
Slip and slide DJs.
Gotta be my imagination.
I think it's an invasion.
I think it's an innovation.
I think it's an invasion.
Man, they not for around here.
I think it's an
Block
invasion.
stars.
Greetings, Earthlings, this is my introduction. They say greatness doesn't come overnight, so I'm not rushing. Spaced out swag, best believe I'm paper touching. Super stupid flow, and you bitches can't tell them nothing. UFO, uniquely flying, outstanding. All I speak is cash, I see why you don't understand. UFO, uniquely flying, outstanding. All I speak is cash, I see why you don't understand me. Got a sense for drama, so I always keep the cannon. This is the invasion, so watch out for our landing. Standing tall, never too far. Spring and summer fashion, bro, I get it in the fall. Y'all about to start hating, and I don't mind at all. I'm a thriller like MJ, and my flow is off the wall.
Who that?
Who they?
They're not from around.
It's gotta be my imagination.
I think it's an invasion.
I think it's an innovation.
I think it's an invasion.
They not from around here.
I think it's an invasion. Who that?
Who they?
They're not from around.
It's gotta be my imagination.
I think it's an invasion.
I think it's an innovation.
I think it's an invasion.
Man, they not from around here.
I think it's an invasion. Greetings, Earthlings. I am Wallow. I am Wallow. I am Wallow. I live life like there's no tomorrow. Chris King, KGNOOB. What homes you ain't know? We're UFO. Cargo, khakis, polos, and fresh kicks. That's the definition of what the cargo kids is. SOS, yes, spaced out swagger. I never do anything right, I'm backwards. I'm so galactic, so erratic. You niggas on my old swag, you can have it. The world is mine and your girl is too. So do us a favor, make room for the crew. Wow. Who that?
Who they?
They're not from around.
It's gotta be my imagination.
I think it's an invasion.
I think it's an innovation.
I think it's an invasion.
They not from around here.
I think it's an invasion. Who that?
Who they?
They're not from around.
It's gotta be my imagination.
I think it's an invasion.
I think it's an innovation.
I think it's an invasion.
Man, they not from around here.
I think it's an invasion.
house senses. They're tingling. So many people need my help. Cash buyers. They're everywhere. What seems to be the problem?
I'm never gonna find a house in this market. These cash buyers are buying everything.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
Is that right?
Thank you so much for your hard work. I wish I knew you were so I could repay you.
Just tell them to look for your neighborhood house dealer.
What's up, world? How you doing?
Everybody?
Look, we're missing B today, but we still gonna have a good episode, y'all. We having my man Adrian Kinzer, Big Topp producer.
What's up?
And like always, welcome to the mothership, bitches. Okay. So, how you guys been doing this week? Everything been good? Hopefully everybody's had a great week. You know what I'm saying? I really appreciate everybody tuning in, checking out the show, everything like that. So, Topp, thank you for coming in.
Appreciate you having me, brother.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
For sure. We've been talking about all this crazy talk about AI, music, everything. We got a late start today. I apologize. That's my fault. We just been wrapping it up about so many things and everything going on in the world. You know what I'm saying? So, you know how it is when two old friends get together, catch up for a minute, then we blew each other's minds with this AI talk. We're gonna talk about it a little bit today.
Yeah.
But right now, Topp, just kind of introduce yourself, let the world know who you are.
Man, I go by Big Topp. A lot of people know Mixed by Topp. I music engineer. I like to mix and master. From Colombia. Probably saw me on the news one time before for some BS. Probably saw me on that, but I'm around Colombia and hey, I'm me.
Yeah.
I'm me.
Yeah. What's can you tell them some of the things you done worked on? Maybe something they done heard that you.
I don't work with Talon a lot. I produced a lot of music with him, Chris King, Corey, Carey. We was the whole little round table clique back in the day. And we had this studio up on the east side, East 9th, and I did a lot of mixing and mastering for people around Columbia. And there's still a lot of people that I haven't got a chance to work with yet that I want to. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. The theme music, our theme music is part of their catalog also. Kind of the whole concept we went with some of this stuff we pulled from, what was the name of that mixtape? Was it Spaced Out Swag?
I want to say that's what it was.
Yeah, maybe. I think it was SOS? Or was it Spaced Out?
What was that? That was
a long time ago.
That was a long time
but
ago.
I reached down, let me tell you, I reached down in the bar. I was like, I want something local, but I want something classic. To me, that body of work was one of the best themed albums to come out of this area. It stayed on theme. The music had the vibe. Everything was perfect.
Yeah, that was a really good one.
Yeah,
I like the man. I can't believe I'm on camera now. I'm brain. Hey,
he done got shot, y'all.
I ain't got shot. I forgot the name of the
okay.
The Talon City, the one that it was just like it was really a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Yes.
What you got?
Man, what's his?
So, some of the things that we're gonna talk about today, we didn't even plan on talking about this. We're gonna talk about artificial intelligence a little bit today, AI.
Which is crazy because the stuff you showed me, the stuff we was going over is going to a whole different,
whole different level. And I want to know how y'all feel about AI. We're gonna talk music too. Okay, he's a music producer. We're gonna talk music too, but we kicking off with AI first, okay? So I had showed him Chat GPT, and most people had seen it from the South Park episode, but I was showing him the possibilities and all that stuff with Chat GPT. I was also showing him, like, I took a little bit of information, just a micro bit of information, and I turned it into a whole big thing. I let it write a 500-word essay on him. I let it write him a resume. I let it write him a contract. So I was showing him the good and the bad of it, you know. But he was really impressed by how it was just taking that micro bit of information and turning it into something much, much bigger. Okay, so I mean, what was your impressions of just Chat GPT?
It was crazy. Like, you just took in just a little bit of my information, and it wrote a whole little thesis on me.
Right, and it wrote it better than we could write.
It wrote it better, and then it was talking about people that I was really inspired by, and you didn't even input none of the names into it.
Right.
So that right there it's getting scary. Like, it's just like, where is it gonna stop?
Right.
How far is it gonna go? Because at this point, like, if I was in school and I needed to write a paper,
that's the go-to.
That's the go-to.
That's the go, man. I am so jealous of these kids,
bro. Even when I was in college, when I was going to college, man, some of these, with how you said he could program. Whenever I was going to ITT Tech, some of our courses we had to actually write computer codes.
Right.
So to actually see that it can write computer codes, it's just like, dude, it would have saved me like a lot of countless nights of just like trying to like do it. And then you type in one little thing wrong, it'll mess up everything under that. So if you got 1,000 lines and you messed up on line 90, everything from 90 to 1,000 is not going to work. So now you have to try to go and figure out where did instead of putting a semicolon, I put a period. Right. And I messed up. So now I have to try to find it. Like, it would have saved everything.
Right. If that numeric code was supposed to be 0000111 and it was 0000011, it throw everything off, man.
Throw everything off. So now seeing it like that is it's just crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think if you've never used Chat GPT, if you've never used AI, it's almost like the employee you always wanted at zero cost. Depending on if you're paying monthly for a pro subscription or whatever it may be, but it helps me all the time. All my contracts, all of my my service agreements, everything. You know, you can take it in there and put anything you want. But I mean, with that comes, you know, the good and the bad. Now, instead of kids learning information, they can go in and just generate information.
No, for sure. Or instead of talking to your girlfriend, you can just have the AI reply to her on a whole message and have a whole conversation. And she'll love it because the stuff it'll write to her is pretty player.
You know what?
It's pretty player.
It's not only player, but it is so considerate. And
for sure.
Not genuine, but like, it's just like it dips into a level of consideration that you might not have in you,
bro. It's like it took all of the love movies that what women want, and it just like, okay, this is what women want, and whatever, regardless, they say, I want to break up. Oh no, I don't want to break up, baby. I'm sorry. I really want to work this out. I understand that I've been busy lately and I haven't been communicating like I can, but I really, like, it'll go into a whole deep spiel to make her feel like, oh, he really doesn't want to leave me. He loves me. I'm tripping. And you over there playing the Xbox the whole time, don't even know what the conversation is.
Right. Thanks, Chat GPT.
You're the man.
Saving a nigga once again.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. But yeah, it's crazy. Even just, I don't even know how, like we were saying, I don't know how far the rabbit hole will go.
Yeah.
or how far it actually go, because with everything you got to give something, and when you give something, a lot of times you got to lose something when you give something.
Oh, always. So everything comes at a cost.
Everything comes at a cost. So it's great that even what you show me with the Google, the AI, and this actually having full conversations, and the people are like, the Chinese woman she didn't understand what he was really trying to say. She was like, when you trying to go? She said that 3 or 4 times, and the AI knew every time. Next Wednesday, Wednesday at 7. So it's just getting to the point to where I'm just like, it's so beneficial, but at what cost is it actually gonna?
Right. So what he's talking about is there's a Google Assistant that there's a video out about how you can use Google Assistant to book your like appointments and anything you may need it to do. So it gives 2 examples in the video. One of the examples is where they book a hair appointment. They give the Google Assistant the dates and times they need this hair appointment, and then it calls the salon and it talks to the salon owner, and they give the information to them, and it books the appointment for it. It comes back and gives you the date and time. And the other one was where it called I want to assume a Chinese restaurant.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But that's what we're gonna assume.
We're gonna assume it was a Chinese restaurant, and the woman's English was a little broken, but the Google Assistant was able to work through it and communicate effectively with her to get some reservations made. So, and it did that. It communicated better than a lot of people.
Which is that's the craziest part. So, like I say, I don't know. It's just like I can see the good from it, but also we just don't know like the cost of it. Like, everybody wanted cars, and we got cars, but part of the problems of having cars is the carbon monoxide and the nitrogen.
Right.
What is it? Not nitrogen. It's well, I know it's carbon monoxide for sure.
Yeah.
But it releases that.
The emissions.
The emissions.
Yeah.
All of the emissions that come from it. So, back in the day, it was like, we don't have to ride horses and take 10 hours to go 5 miles. Or I don't know how long it takes horses. But, we getting there quicker, but they didn't know that the counter effect was emissions. And now we're at the point to where it's, hey, we got to figure out something to do.
But it's almost to a point where even beyond figuring out something to do, you have to break the greed chain of gasoline, Like, you can't, even beyond just, because they have other alternatives. They have hydrogen cars, they have electric cars, they got all that. But at this point, you have to break the money that is tied with that.
That's true too. That is true too. So that's true. Like, there are other efficient ways. Even like my friend, I don't know everything he did because it's real scientific, but he basically got a 1995 truck. It's a Chevy. He added some type of hydrogen thing to it.
Yeah.
He put water and he peed in it because the pee has nitrogen.
Oh, wow.
So he peed in it, and this truck that normally gets, I don't know, let's say 10 miles a gallon, that full tank will last 2-3 weeks in the truck now. And it's an older truck. So, older trucks burn gas, and it's got like 300,000 miles in it.
Right.
But he did it, and he's a smart person, but there's people out there that could really fine tune it to make it better. But just seeing that he did it and that it really works, it's just like, oh, okay. So this is all come down to money,
right? Yeah.
It's a money thing.
It's all a money thing now. The whole thing, and it's sad that we can't get past that. Like, we can't better our society. This greed has grabbed hold of it like that. You feel me?
Yeah, no, for sure.
Like, if we could a lot of things could be standardized, y'all. If we could standardize certain electrical plugs, certain this and that, so we're using certain ones and everything, you'd be surprised how easier the world will flow. But everyone's, okay, this is better, this is more innovative. And sometimes it is, but a lot of times it's not.
Yeah.
So now we got all this stuff going on where we can't even get as far as we could ahead. You know?
No, I know what you're saying. With all this great stuff, we're still being held back by things like gas.
Yeah, gas.
Because
Exactly.
it's petroleum is it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money in it, and people don't want to let that up. A lot of people have made their whole life earnings and their family's wealth off of oil.
Right.
So if you cut oil out, like people's gonna be like, hold on now. Now
Yeah.
you're cutting into my money, even though they have enough money to last 1,000 lifetimes.
Right.
It's just like, hold on now. No, I don't want you to cut it off. I don't want to stop making money. I
Right.
want to keep making it. And
It's the profit margins.
yeah, for sure.
And then our country's built on capitalism. Okay.
Yep.
So you can't go to any sort of socialist environment or they want to say you're a communist or all this stuff. So now we've got a whole set of problems we've built that we can't even break to break that cycle will require tearing down the entire system and rebuilding.
No, for sure. And once again, that goes into people's pockets.
Yeah.
So then they're gonna be like, "Oh no, we good on that." But you're right. I remember this dude. I forgot what his name was, but he was this billionaire. He's got all these different companies and stuff, and he said some realest stuff I've ever heard. He said paying taxes is for workers.
Yeah.
He said this country was built for people who are owners, not workers.
Right.
Because if you own something, you can write a tax write-off on everything.
Yes.
Everything.
Absolutely. I know.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I know. I know.
For sure. You can go on a trip to Aruba and rent Lamborghinis and Rolls Royces the whole weekend and come back and buy a $2 million house and buy 3 Lamborghinis and write it all off on your taxes at the end of the year if you know how to do it.
Right.
And being a worker, you got to pay property taxes. Even, I know a lot of people don't like him, Trump. He buried his wife on his golf property because if you have a body on your property, that's considered a graveyard. And with graveyards, even if you get back on property taxes, the government cannot take the property. And it cuts his property taxes down to I think 80-90% because it's a graveyard.
Oh, wow.
And I want to say almost tax free, but I'm not for sure. But it's things like that to where normal people don't have the money or needs to do that. So he said it run with me this country was built for people who are owners, not workers.
I wonder if you can use if your dog Scruffy died. Scruffy died.
Hey, yeah, that's true. A pet cemetery.
Yeah. I buried Scruffy in the backyard, so I'm gonna need you to cut.
Man, we probably could ask the AI that. Hey,
yes.
If I bury a dog on my property, can I write that off on my taxes?
Yes, absolutely. That's a crazy thing. There's so many loopholes. Like you said, the Lamborghinis. If I go out there and I have one business meeting and I put you in the Lamborghini and I'm having the business meeting with you, that is already considered a business expense. I rented that Lamborghini to drive top around Dubai, and that's all it's for.
That's all it's for.
And now write it off.
We go out there, we talk business for an hour or two, and then the rest of the day, the other 22 hours, we go out there and party.
Yep.
And even everything that we did that day is a tax write-off.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. So let's get into the music for just a minute.
Okay.
Not to just change gears on y'all, but what do you got working on? What do you got coming out?
Right now I'm working on Dreddy's upcoming album. I don't think we got I think it's Lion Parkway. I think that might be the name of it. I don't even know if I'm supposed to say that, so we're gonna be lying now. So I don't know the name at all. I don't know the name, but right now I'm working on Dreddy's album. We've been going to the studio and I done mix, I wanna say probably about 7 or 8 songs right now. And this was me getting back into it. I took a little break. I was on hiatus. I went to was in California, living out there for a little while, working on a farm. That was pretty interesting.
We gonna go there too. We gonna go there.
So I kind of took a break, but
I almost put botanist. I don't know. I did. I was like, I don't know. I I don't know what's going on with him. Maybe I shouldn't put botanist.
Not to go too far off, I can grow some fire strawberries.
Yeah.
Some fire strawberries. I'm talking about the best strawberries you ever have in your life.
Yeah.
I can grow some. But Dreddy kind of got me back out. He was like, bro, he's making one more CD. And I you know how they go. They always say it's the last CD, and then that itch is hard to. It's hard to.
Because I mean, if this is the one that blows, then you gotta go.
You gotta go. So he got me back out, and I've been working on that, and we've been working on it. So I think he said he's gonna try to drop it this summer. So that's really what I've been working on right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just talked to Tyler not too long ago. He
How is he?
Oh, he's doing good.
Yeah.
He's doing good. Yeah, he's doing good. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I talked to him, and he asked me if I was still mixing. I was like, "This is crazy that you text me. I just left the studio with Dreddy."
Yeah.
So I'm like, "Hey, I'm back." So he was like, "Next time we get up, he's gonna bring me some songs, and I'm about to start getting working back with him. Hopefully."
Do you do any work on the mic?
No,
I don't either. I don't either. I can't do it.
I got a couple of songs hidden in the cut that I done made though. I done made a couple of songs that I got hidden in the cut, but no, I leave that. I leave that to the professionals.
Yes, man. That's a whole beyond it. It's not even about just the music anymore. They have a whole image they gotta do.
Yeah,
it's a lot of work. So you gotta try and stay in your lane to produce the best work you can produce as a producer.
And the hardest part of them, I give it to him. Writing is that's a talent.
Right.
That's a talent. Like the songs I wrote, it took me like a day to write 16 bars. Yeah. And I know some people.
Hey, I'm doing ChatGPT to write some fire bars.
I bet he can for real, bro. ChatGPT will be you'll go platinum with the bars that are right.
Oh my goodness! And then they got the AI that now does the voice, the deep fakes.
So hey, I might drop one of the songs I got. I might put Jay-Z on it.
Yeah, right.
One of them on it. You're like, dang, Topp got a fire song.
Man, he dropped that shit with Hov. You know what I mean?
No, for sure.
Wow. I wonder what it takes for them to get the data to deep fake that. I wonder how much voice recognition they need.
I don't know. I just heard a Jay-Z verse and a Nas verse that was deep faked, and it just basically it took all the vocals, every word they said, and cut it up. But the way it pasted the words together made it sound like they really was rapping.
Right.
And it was on beat, and it didn't sound fake. So it's scary times.
Yeah.
Scary
so
times.
where do you think that's headed as a person that works in the music industry?
I don't know. It's from an artist standpoint. How do you if I go out and make a song and put Drake's voice and get a deep fake Drake verse and put it out and go platinum with it, like we was talking about earlier, technically that's not Drake's voice. Even though it is, it's not a rhyme that he can copyright and say I wrote that and this is copyright infringement and he shouldn't be doing it. Right. And just because you sound like another artist doesn't mean, people always say Future and Designer kind of sound alike. If he had made a song like Future, you can't sue him because he sounds like me, because of the tone and the pitch of his voice. So for the artists, it's gonna be scary. Like, how are y'all? If somebody go out and put Drake on a song, how does he get paid for that? He didn't do no work. He didn't do anything. Right. So I don't know. It's not going. Things like that is not going in a good direction. I feel like.
Right. Okay. So I guess with that, I mean, like you said, you can't really just copyright the sound of the voice, and you can't. That's a crazy situation, man.
That is.
It is. That's I mean, for somebody like myself who isn't necessarily musically talented, that's an opportunity.
For sure.
But for somebody who has all the talent, has crafted their talent and worked hard for that, that's a terrible thing, man.
That is true. Like right now, if I was artist, younger generation, hey, I'll take advantage of it because it's the Wild West. There's no restrictions on it. There's no you can't do this. Right now, this is a learning period. So with learning comes, bruises sometimes. But right now, for the people who can possibly come up off of it, I think it's a great thing for them.
Yeah.
But for the actual artist, like, if I went out and if I was an R&B singer, got Michael Jackson on my song,
Right.
yeah,
Oh, that would be dope, though. Oh, you know what I mean? You
what
gotta
about-
sample that number.
for sure. You know, if you're a producer, you made a mixtape with R&B and you got Prince and Michael on the song.
Oh, I know, right?
That would be
right.
crazy.
There's an artist. He's got he took a sample of Phil Collins and Michael Jackson, and he made a song with that, and he put his own verse in it. But it sounds great. You got Phil Collins and Michael Jackson on the track. What would that even cost you? Oh, it'd be
A song.
ridiculous. Ridiculous amount.
Something the money can't buy.
Right. Right.
For real, Michael Jackson and Phil Collins on the track.
Yes. That's a musician's dream. you
Yeah,
know?
you're not gonna get no royalties from that though.
One of the saddest stories I heard was T-Pain talk about when he was supposed to do the track with Michael Jackson and the producer leaked it.
Yep.
Yes. And then Michael didn't.
He was like, nope.
Nope.
Yeah, I think I've heard that story once or twice, so I can't remember all about it. But I remember he had a song with Michael get leaked, and then Mike was just like, no, and it's just like, dang, because that would have been a crazy song.
Oh yeah.
That would have been a crazy
fire.
song.
That'd have been great for both of their careers. Even though Michael Jackson, has the most epic career you could ever have as an artist, but like just to be reintroduced to a younger generation in a way,
No, for sure.
So-
That's true, and for all the people out there, Mike is the biggest.
Yeah, it's the biggest.
baddest.
You can't
Not Drake, Mike.
beat Mike.
You can't be Mike.
No.
Mike have people fade just by looking at him.
If they gave me the option, have dinner with Future or get 2 Michael Jackson royalty checks, I'm getting them 2 Michael Jackson royalty
And then
checks.
not only that, Michael owned half of Sony.
Yes.
So
Michael Jackson owned Eminem's catalog.
he owned the Beyonce's, because she was signed to Sony ATP.
Yes.
So anybody who was signed to Sony, Michael was getting, was it like 55% of the royalty checks?
Yes.
So Michael, that was
It don't get no better than that.
it don't get no better.
No.
He's a mastermind.
Yes.
He's
Yes.
a mastermind.
When I read that he had bought Eminem's catalog after Eminem was talking shit about him, I was like, oh, that's the bossest move you can ever have.
That was a boss move.
Yes.
This was a boss move. I've seen a lot. I've been, not recently, but I done seen like a whole bunch of like backstories of Mike. Mike was a savage.
Yes.
Mike was a savage. Like, I watched that video when James Brown called him up on the stage, and then he was like, "Hey, call Prince." Him and Prince was beefing.
Yeah.
And then he was like, because Michael went up there and killed it. Prince did his thing, but
Yeah.
Prince wasn't ready.
Yes.
And Prince couldn't turn it down because
No, you
it's a
can't.
competitive edge. So like, I'm about to go up here. He called me, but Mike was a savage, low key.
Yeah.
He was a savage, low key.
King of the light skins.
For sure.
King of the light
For
skin.
sure. He was the king of petty.
Yes.
He was the king of pettiness. So
Yes, in a way that you can't even imagine.
in a way that you can't.
You got a bankroll like that behind you, that's it. Yeah.
He was a savage.
Right. So let me ask you this: for some of like the producers, the kids that's coming producers and stuff, like what's some good tools that you think they should have to start out like into production? Some must-haves.
Bro, this with the way technology is these days, you can start off with your phone. Just as long as you got the want to learn and you want to actually make beats. I've looked at videos where people made fire beats on their phone.
Yeah.
On their phone. But like, if I would say, I would normally say probably Fruity Loops. You want to get a good Fruity Loops reason, probably start off with that, a laptop, a mini keyboard, or like a MPC type thing, just so you can start off on, and just YouTube University that to death.
Yeah.
And then
People underestimate the power of YouTube University.
YouTube University is the best university in the world.
Yes.
It's graduated the most people for free.
Yes. Not only just that, but like something can come out and within like 24 to 48 hours, you've got a tutorial ready.
ready and locked and loaded.
Yes. Accurate. Step by step. Put it on this screen, do it on this screen. It's ready, y'all. So
that's where I learned a lot of my Chris King, he taught me a lot when he came to mixing. He taught me a lot, but he also always said, you gotta learn on your own, because he couldn't always be there. So I would always use his ear as a reference to when I mix, so I could see what I did wrong, because his ear is immaculate when it comes to like hearing like, no, this reverb is too high, or no, the voice has too many highs here. He's the king of that. But a lot of the stuff I learned too was from YouTube University, just sitting there, like getting a book, writing down, okay, for voice, you want to try to take out some of the lows, but not too much of the lows to where it doesn't sound natural, but you don't want the voice to collide with the bass. Right. So, the person with a deep voice, it could collide. So whenever, and then you also talk like whenever you hear a system, you shouldn't be able to hear a person talking through the speakers of the system. Right. It should just be coming out through the speakers, and the system speakers should just be strictly for bass. Right. So that just taught me a lot of things. So YouTube University and a laptop and Fruit Loops.
Yeah. Okay. I've got a MIDI keyboard over there. I haven't even picked up software for it right now. I've got a few things I play with, but I'm gonna learn a little bit of music, and I don't want to do it to produce like go record artists and stuff. Yeah. But with me in the film business, I might need some, you know what I mean, and just keep it going.
No, for sure.
Yeah. So that's what I want to go with. So I might have to collab with you one day and take some lessons. Yeah. I would love to be able to put together my own compositions for my own productions. So
got you. I'm not too good with that, but I can show you a little bit what I know. Yeah. I'm more strictly on the engineering and mixing and mastering. Right. But if I hear something, I can be like, if the beat's already constructed and I'm mixing the song, I'm really good at like drops or taking out this synth here or piano here to where when you listen to the music, it tries to evoke some type of emotion to you.
Cinematic.
Yeah, cinematic. I want a cinematic effect when I mix. So when you listen to it, it's just not the same kick, drum, the verse come on, then the hook come on. Like I want it to be like, I wanted the beat to cut out for a half a second here, so all you hear is that, and then pow, the beat drop back in. Right. So I'm more of that. But when it comes to producing and stuff, making actual beats, I'm okay with. I made a couple of beats back in the day. You should hear them.
Okay.
They were funny.
He said they were funny.
They was funny. Okay. They were funny.
Wow. So when you say they, what do you mean by funny? What am I looking at here?
You gotta listen to it, and you gotta bob your head, and you gotta laugh a little bit, and you're gonna be like, yeah, you stuck with the right thing.
So are we talking about like on Tyler the Creator type of?
No, worse than Tyler. He's actually a good one. All right, so I sampled Shy. That ooh that I do, and I never that was my first beat, and I had a ooh that I do, and it was like that, bro. So that's what I mean by like funny. And then the bass and the snares I used was not. Okay. It was totally So the whole field was kind of chaotic.
Wow, that's funny.
Yeah, you should hear it.
yeah, that's you know what I mean. That's
ooh. That I do. Hey, that was So
Hey, was it one of them situations where you're like, man, this is fire, and then you turn it off for your niggas, and they was like,
Nah, I knew. Okay. I knew. I'm my own hardest critic, so I knew like when I heard it, like I would thought it was for my first one. It was like a decent startup one, right? But compared to what the music I listen to and what I hear, like Nah, dog, this isn't it, dog. Yeah. This ain't it.
So how long would you think, like let's say you kept on that path, how long do you think it would take you to build some of these beats that you might feel that are masterful?
10,000 hours.
10,000 hours?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because the people I listen to are, like you said, they master. To master something that takes 10,000 hours. Wow. So I would say for me to get there, just be truthful. Right. 10,000 hours to get to where I would. Like for me to get to the mixing part, I've spent more than 10,000 hours in the studio mixing and mastering. Oh wow. So even though I haven't mixed in 3 or 4 years, it's nothing for me to hop back in there.
Right.
And it's just like riding a bike. You know, I might have to I might start off a little.
Might be some new little little gadgets in there,
but at the end of the day, after a couple of pedals, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm good now, and I'm right back in it. So I would say probably would have took 10,000 hours to get to where I wanted to be at from what I heard.
Right. So what, like for artists, and I hear them talk about like mixing and mastering and stuff like that. What is advice that you would give to artists and producers to have their music at like a certain point before mastering? Because I've heard like some people, they will take and they won't leave enough room for the track to grow when it's being mastered.
Yeah.
So can you go into that for just a minute?
Yeah. So when they say room to grow, whenever you're mixing, you know how like it has the levels,
Yep.
and whenever it peaks, it's red.
Right.
You would want to mix it, and you want to have it to where every time when the music is playing, the green is going halfway up or a little bit above halfway. Okay. So when you bounce it down, it might not sound as loud as what you're used to hearing. But you have to remember when you send it off to mastering, they're going to take it from halfway and they're going to open it up all the way to where it's just before it starts to peak.
Right.
And it'll never peak. So it could actually sound loud and big and grand. So some things I would say is just, you know, one thing I always say is listen to your favorite artist or whoever you love and listen to how their music sounds, and then just try to incorporate that sound into your mixing. So like what I mean by that is I would go and always listen to a Kanye track because his production was out of this world.
Right.
So I would listen to how the kick drums is sitting in the mix with the snares and the voices and the synths, and here the piano is panned a little bit to the left and this is panned a little bit to the right, so the vocals just sit right in the middle, and it just sounds all cohesive. So I would say listen to your favorite artists and just listen to how they have their stuff mixed and mastered and just try to emulate that the best you can. It's hard to do it because they're in $1 million studios with the best mics, with the best sound treatment, but you can get pretty close. You can get pretty close if you listen to it, and just never, loud isn't always good.
Right.
Loud isn't always good. If you're looking at your mixing levels and it's always going into the red, you got to do something different. Because when you go to mix it down and send it to somebody to get mastered, they can't cut it up no more because it's already peaking.
Right.
So
There's
anything, there's no room to make it, to clean it up and make it louder because it's already full.
Right.
So when you mix it down, and the main thing is like, I always mix it down to when you want to listen to in a car to where nothing is peaking. But when it goes to the mastering side, just cut the master volume on whatever you're using, Pro Tools, Reason, Fruity Loops, in the Windows, whatever program you're using, the master track should just be halfway up.
Okay. So I follow a little bit of music and stuff. And they were talking about on an interview one time, it was talking about how like you don't need the $1 million studios anymore. And like a lot of artists record right there with a diffuser or the chaotic eyeball. They record right beside their producers now with the diffusers around. Like, is that true?
Yeah, that's a lot of songs I mix with Piff and Trill and them. A lot of the music when we had our studio in Carmack, we had a little booth, but sometimes, you know, they didn't want to record in the booth. They might want to be right behind you and have the little chaotic eyeball, like you said, the mic in the middle. And with technology, that's one of the pros of technology. Technology has gotten so good to where you don't, like bands will make them dance. A hit song in the industry, recorded in Juicy J's kitchen.
Yeah.
He recorded that in his kitchen.
Wow.
Just as long as you have the want and the desire to make it sound good, you can make it sound good.
Right.
Because I've heard songs where I'd be like, what? You recorded that there? Like, that's crazy. This sounds like you recorded in a good studio. Yeah. Then I've heard songs with people who didn't care just putting music out, and I'd be like, dang, you can hear the reverb, the baby crying in the background, somebody opening the door, the cigarette lighter getting lit, somebody saying, dang, I dropped the blunt. You hear it all. So it really just depends on on the person and the want and the willingness to make it sound good.
So, okay. Speaking of sounding good, then are we gonna go with analog, or we're going XLR into the board, or should we be pushing more towards USB digital?
Digital is the cheapest way to go, and it's the most convenient nowadays. Yeah. But man, nothing's gonna beat analog.
Right.
Nothing beats that in the studio. Vocals going straight into the mixing boards, and then goes, because with analog, the mic, then you have to sit there and actually with the EQ, it goes into an EQ in the compressor. Right. You have to fix that and adjust it. Then it goes into the mixing board to be recorded. So nothing will ever beat that, like the warmth and the sound of it, and just. So I would say analog all day.
Analog all day.
Analog all day.
Okay. All right. And that's what everyone online was saying. Everyone's like, just stay analog, because they're talking about like a lot of the boards. They got a lot of nice preamps built into them and things like that. And that with the mics, whatever is built into the mic, that's all you got, and then you don't have any control with the digital.
Yeah.
So okay.
Yeah, because digital is just basically, it goes mic, the M-box or whatever the preamp you're using straight into your computer, and then from there you have to just add the EQs and stuff inside Pro Tools in the computer.
Right.
But analog, you're actually going through an actual physical EQ.
Right.
And then it goes in there, and then you can still EQ it a little bit on the actual mixing board.
Right.
But yeah, nothing will ever beat
analog sound.
Nothing will ever beat the analog sound. Like, you'll never be able to beat it. So I say analog all day.
Analog all day.
Analog all day.
Any brands you think you should stick to mic wise?
The U87. I can't think of the name of the company that makes it.
Okay.
But the U87, really, with the way things are nowadays, baby bottles, Blues make great mics.
Yeah.
Blue make great mics. Blues have good mics. So I'll say Newman and Blue. I would say either a Newman mic or a Blue mic, because those two are just like, they the OGs. They just their sounds. They can try. The mics can try to give it an analog sound, even though it's not going to give it one. But just the crispiness and the way it picks up the vocals, and then it doesn't. Those mics don't necessarily pick up the highs as much as other mics, because they're made good, and they smoke in the factories with Blue, I think. So that's a good thing too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because smoke on. I don't know the science behind it, but I was listening to people and they was talking about they used to smoke in the factories where they made a lot of amps and a lot of mixing boards and stuff, and that the smoke will get on the board and stick, and cause it to have a different sound versus one not. And they realized that
on that note, we'll go ahead and smoke a little bit here.
So the cigarette smoke actually gave them a different sound than newer ones.
Wow.
So yeah.
Wow. I would have never guessed it.
Yeah, I was shocked when I heard that too. So, back in the day, we would try not to smoke in the studio, but sometimes I'd be like, "Hey, man, it's giving it a good sound." As I'm hitting it, I'm just giving the computer a good sound. That's all it is.
Wow. Do you ever miss the studio sessions? I know you took some time off. Like, do you dream about the studio sessions? Do you ever dream about it?
Yeah. Wow. We had some early morning, late night studio sessions to where we'll wake up and realize we only ate once that day, and we walk outside and the sun's down. It's down, or just vice versa. We in there all night and walk outside and the sun's coming up, and it's like, dang, we've been in the studio for like 30 hours straight.
Ooh.
So those was like some of the best days. Like, you know, we all getting older and people got families and making money and people grow and evolve, and that's just part of life. But yeah, I miss the late night studio sessions.
Man.
Those was some make some hits.
Yeah,
make some in our category with hits.
No, they can still be hit. Like, here's the thing about music, especially today. Okay, like it was one of them things where it was all about like you gotta find hip hop's all. Oh, it's the newest, it's the trendiest, and all that stuff. But from DJing, spinning records, man, we'll go to these kids and we'll spin records. We can spin some of the hottest, newest drill stuff, and they kind of, they cool with it. But we grab some shit from back in the day and play. They love it. Music is timeless.
It is. It's true for the 99 and the 2000s.
Yeah. Yes.
That's always gonna go.
Yes. That's the truth.
That's always gonna go. Now you're right. Like, I've been more into like old school mode lately. It's just the frequency that I'm vibrating on right now, and I'm in more of an old school mode. But like, I'm just like Jodeci, Isley Brothers, Luther, Gerald Levert. The list goes on. The Gap Band. Like, I've been going back just listening to like this older music, and it's timeless. Like, it's till this day still sounds like he could come out. A lot of those songs can come out this day and be hits.
Yeah. Yes.
So yeah, music is timeless. It's crazy.
Yeah, a lot of stuff that blows. Like that track that was on Stranger Things, the latest season.
Oh yeah.
It's got more fame now than it had when it came out.
It did, and I heard that song before, but hearing it on Stranger Things, I was like, dang, it really made me love the song even more. I ain't gonna lie.
Yes, so that music is timeless.
Music is timeless.
There's a couple rules though. Don't put a timestamp in your track. Don't put a location in your track. Also, if you can avoid those two things, the worst things that can happen is an artist come on 1999, y'all. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Then you've stamped it. It's official.
It's official.
Yeah.
Only one that got away with it was Juvie.
Yeah.
He's the only one.
The only one.
Only one.
And it was a banger. So
it was a banger. Other than that, you're right. And then like, you don't know, like, a lot of the music ages too. So like, sometimes if people are not always necessarily hitting your music right off the bat, just know that sometimes it might take 6 months, a year or two before like a lot of people songs who blow up nowadays are old songs. You go listen to the newer songs, but it's a song they dropped a year ago or a year and a half ago or 2 years ago that people just not catching on to, and it's a hit. And they're like, dude, I done made other music, but this song like 2 years old. So a lot of times just things gotta grow and age well.
Yeah, Mike Jones still tipping. They said that song was like 5 or 6 years old.
Yep.
Before it blew up. You know what I'm saying? So, hey. What can you say? You know what I mean?
Just don't give up.
Right. You know, I went to a No Limit conference. They said you're supposed to push your singles for at least 8 months.
Yep. 8 months to a year.
Yeah, at least 8 months. Yeah. So don't give up. Just because, you know what I mean, while you still making music, you can still be pushing that single. So, you know, talking about music sounding old, I really think when people do the Tupac and Biggie comparison, I really feel like that's where Biggie excelled over Tupac. Because I feel like a lot of Biggie's music can be played more and not sound as dated as Pac's music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would say the opposite.
Really?
Yeah, I
you
would
think
go.
Biggie stuff sounds dated?
Yeah, like, you know. Oh man, you know what? Sitting back listening, because you can play Juicy.
Yeah.
And that you could tell that's an older song.
Right.
But then you could play Dear Mama. You can tell that's a dated song. You can even go to California Love.
Yeah.
You can tell it's an older song. So I say, I don't know. I feel like it's probably more even with those.
Yeah.
Because I just, like I said, I've been listening to a lot of older records lately. Like, the Isley Brothers got some songs that can hit today.
Oh, yeah.
They don't even sound that old. So I don't know. But on that comparison, I was always more of a pop guy.
Really?
Yeah, I was always
okay.
a pop guy.
Okay. See, I fuck with Biggie. I
like Biggie
hip-hop.
too.
Yeah,
Biggie was he was really spitting, but I just like pop.
Yeah.
I just like Pac. I think it might have been because my auntie and my parents loved Pac. And
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
so I was introduced to Pac at an earlier age than Biggie.
How is it to have parents that were in hip hop then? Because my parents were not. It was Bobby Blue Bland and BB King, the Muddy Waters.
See, my uncle, he was really the one. He used to come pick me up at school. He had a system in his car. He had some JLs. Had 212s. Used to come pick me up, but he would never cut them up. That would always make me mad. Like, dude, why you got speakers and you got them like barely going?
Yeah.
But he just liked the extra bass. So he got me into like Freeway. Like I remember he gave me a Freeway CD when I was younger, and I was like, "What the hell is this? Like this ain't so and so." They're like, "Man, this man spitting. Listen to it."
I like Freeway. I mean,
No, I do too. I like Freeway, but
yeah.
my auntie was into Tupac, but my mom was really into like R&B and soul.
Yeah.
My dad was like, he was into older music, so they let me listen to the newer music, and they liked a lot of the newer music too. But on weekends and Sundays when having music blaring through the house, it was always just old school music. Like it was either gonna be some Whitney Houston, some SWV for my mom, or my dad's gonna play some Parliament Funkadelic or some like
James Brown.
Oh
man.
Or he really was in the Gap Band and Charlie Murphy.
Oh yeah. But that was the original players.
No, for sure.
This guy, yeah.
So that was really what I was listening to younger. Was the Gap, Charlie, Eddie Murphy, Eddie Levert.
Yeah. I mean, Eddie Murphy had a little banger.
Hey, that was Eddie Murphy was a fool for that song.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to try to think about that song. Cause what's it? Party all the time.
It's in your head.
It's in your head now.
Rick James is in the video.
Yeah, Rick James wrote it, didn't he?
Yeah.
I think Rick James wrote and produced it.
Oh, wow.
Their whole little relationship was funny. Just hearing R.I.P. Charlie Murphy, but just hearing the stories from Charlie Murphy, dude, that was some funny stuff.
Yeah, for sure. R.I.P. Long QB, man.
R.I.P. QB, man.
QB. I go through hard drives on my computer, like old hard drives. I got them all saved, and I go through sessions where you're like, you remember I did a bunch of shots for you, headshots and stuff. And I come across all this old QB stuff, and then we worked together for a while, and I come across some of that stuff. It's like, man, I was like, and I want to release it, but then I don't want it to come off like I'm just trying to clickbait people.
I wouldn't say that. I think that would be like, cause I want to see some of it now, like just to bring it back. I got it right here, LQB on my arm. So I would want to say I don't think it would come off as anything.
Right. I've with him and Perv both. I've got pictures and clips and stuff just where we work together and where we
because we go back far, and it was some funny times back then.
I got clips. Do you remember when we was on tour with the Pro Show?
Yes.
Y'all was street team for that. All that talent was street team.
That was crazy.
Yes.
Just looking back at it, that was some fun times.
Yeah. So what is his name? It's under Derek Minor now. So Derek Minor, back in the day, I did video production for a company he was with. And how did y'all know Derek or Pro?
Oh, it was through Chris King.
Yes, through Chris King.
Chris King and Kizzy.
Yeah. And we was all part of this whole, you want to talk about a team? There was probably, 10 of us in total?
Yeah, it was. I know the street team was me, Corey, Mez, Tylen.
Yes.
That was pretty much it. I know Kerry would try to come anytime Corey would let him. He was the little big brother, brother thing. That was funny. But no, we had some fun times. Especially that time we went to Kentucky. That was a trip.
Yeah. It's a lot, man. It's a lot of good times building this music. And even if we aren't millionaires, the memories and the stories, and I've still got pictures from that stuff. I still got all that stuff that's just there. And I'm like, man, I need somebody to blow up so I can give this to them when they would tell their story. You know, like, here, bro, here is all the stuff I have from 2001 up until, 2006. And this was our story together.
Yeah, that was crazy. I even remember helping. I don't even remember the one guy's name.
The owner?
Yeah, the owner.
Jay Leopardi.
Jay Leopardi, man. Hey, Jay Leopardi, bro. Man, if you're watching, you was a fool.
Yes.
He was a fool. I mean, we helped him try to. We didn't build it, but we helped when they was doing the studio up there.
Yes.
And we painted the front desk and
I
stained
was
it.
in there.
Yeah. Bro. Hey, speaking of pro, I'll never get me and QB stayed up there one day, bro. And we thought we was trying to do something good. So we was like, we staying at Pro House for the weekend.
Yeah.
So, we tried to help wash the dishes. Well, we put the dish in the dishwasher and we put soap in there.
Oh, no.
Soap, and then we left. And when we left, we put a lot of soap in there too. We put like soap in the pan.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So we came back after, I forgot what we did. We went and got some food or something and came back.
Was that in the studio or in the house?
It was at his house. And when he had the apartment, and his whole bottom apartment was full of suds. It wasn't even water. It was suds.
Oh, no.
Suds everywhere, bro. All the way from the kitchen to the front door. As soon as he opened the door, the whole bottom part of the apartment was suds.
So how did that go?
Oh, he was mad. He was hot, bro. It was funny. It was funny after.
Yeah,
and after he would always talk about it. But when he first walked in, bro, he was hot, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, he made us clean all that up too.
Oh, I bet he did.
Yeah.
Oh, bro. Hey, when he got mad, he was mad.
He was mad, bro.
Yeah, hey, yes. And he did not mind telling you about how he felt.
No,
about
for
that
sure.
situation.
For sure.
I made sure I tiptoed extra lightly, not to make that man mad. Are you like that? Okay, that's what we're going with then. You know
For
what I mean?
sure. For sure. Nah, yeah, he was hot though. He was not happy about his whole bottom floor being suds. Looked like it was a rave going on downstairs.
Oh, phone party.
Phone party. For real.
Wow. Wow, man.
Yeah, memories.
Now he's doing great.
Yeah, he's doing great. I love it. I love
Yes.
to see it. He signed with Lecrae. He go by, like you said, Derek Minor now, and he's doing good. I love seeing still being able to do what you love and still doing it.
Right, progress.
And getting paid from it.
Yep.
And living off of it. So that's dope.
Right. So good. Let's before we wrap too much, let's hit on your California. Let's tell me that story about how you went out there and what you were doing, and you know what I mean. Kind of tell me a little bit what you can talk about.
That was some fun times too.
Cali.
It was fun, but it was that was a whole different thing. I wanted to go out there and learn how to grow weed.
Yeah.
And I went out there, met a couple of people. I was about to start school out there to go to Oaksterdam, which is in Oakland.
Okay.
This is a college that teach you how to grow weed.
Wow.
So
weed college, y'all.
A weed college, real weed college. Like
wow.
It was the tuition.
So how much does that cost?
I think it was like $7,000 at the time.
Yeah.
Yes.
So for $7,000, y'all, you can go to weed college and learn to grow weed in Cali. Just a thought.
And then I met some people out there, and this one dude was like, hey, instead of you paying to learn how to grow weed, how about you get paid to learn how to grow weed? So I was like, oh shit, fuck yeah, hell yeah. What do I sign up?
Right.
Like,
absolutely.
I'm on it. He was like, no, before you do it, we gotta come up there and test it to make sure you like it.
Right.
Drove up this fucking mountain the first time, dude. I'm talking about like I'm sweating bullets, scared to fucking death, because this is this ain't a hill, it's a real mountain. Like it goes from zero,
So why all the way up there?
Bob, you just keep out of prying eyes, because it wasn't the most
security purposes.
Yeah, security, and it probably wasn't the most. All the paperwork probably wasn't on cue with it.
Right.
If I say that, it wasn't all the paperwork wasn't on cue. So just to keep it out of prying eyes, so we literally drove up this mountain, bro, and like it goes from sea level to like 7,000 feet.
Okay.
So it takes like an hour, and takes like almost an hour to get up the mountain. The mountain's like only like probably like the bottom to the top is like 18 miles.
Okay.
But the whole 18 miles is you're going up,
Right.
up, and like there's some parts there was no.
Yeah, the drop off was
a drop off.
It was death.
It was death, and the higher you get up, the more you realize like the bottom stayed at the bottom, but you're going up to the top, but you can still see the bottom. You're like, oh,
no rails.
oh,
Wow.
And then sometimes it got to, which was crazy. They filmed some of the Fast and Furious sites on that mountain because and then like on weekends they would have car clubs. So like on weekends, if you would go up there at the right time, you'll see Lamborghinis, Corvettes, Porsches going up the mountain. And then once you get to the top, you go into the mountain, so you don't see the drop off no more.
Right.
But before you get to that last part to where you go into the mountain, that drop off is sick, bro. And it's a one-lane road too. So like if you gotta pass somebody gotta stop to let the other person pass by. Bro, my balls was in my stomach, bro. I was like, oh, this is crazy. But got up there, the most beautiful place I've ever seen. Was no service.
Right.
So at first it was kind of crazy, but then once you got unplugged from the Matrix, it was like, this is peaceful.
Right.
So I went up there. It was fucking the hot desert, so during the day it would get up to like 117, 100 degrees, which wasn't all 100 on top of the mountain.
Wow.
So which wasn't 100 here. 100 there still felt good.
Right.
It still felt good. Like you could tell, like, oh, it's hot outside, but it's not. Wasn't no humidity up there.
Right.
So, but in nighttime it could go from 100 in the daytime to 32 at night.
Right.
So it was a dramatic difference between night and day. But I went up there, fell in love, worked hard, got to learn about the plants, got to learn how to grow them.
What was pay like doing that?
Pay was good.
Was it?
It was good.
Okay.
It was good. It was good. Pay was nice.
Okay. I always wondered, like, are y'all sweat shopping these folks? What you?
Some
doing?
people will. Like, I know, like, what was it? Murder Mountain. That was up in Humboldt, but I wasn't in Humboldt. I was right outside Oakland. Which another thing, a lot of people was in Oakland was shocked. Like, what? Y'all on a mountain inside of Oakland? Then I told them what mountain it was, and I was like, oh dang, I forgot about that. Like, it would snow on top of the mountain during the wintertime. But it wouldn't snow at the bottom. Like, you'll be driving up the mountain, you can start seeing where it's starting, like, okay, it's starting to snow a little bit, and you start getting to the top, and it's like, oh, it's snowing, like, heavy up there.
Right.
And it was snow heavy. So, but you go down the mountain into Oakland, and it's not, you couldn't even tell it's snow on top of the mountain right now.
Right.
So that was crazy. But yeah, growing with the plants, getting to learn how to grow, doing like some real organic farming, using the earth and what the nature gives you to help make the plant stronger. Learned a lot. And it was dope. It was hard though.
Yeah.
It was hard. Like I say, some people will sweatshop you, some won't. But it was different. It was no power up there, no electricity. Wow. We was running generators like.
Shut up! So they was in full like exclusivity.
Yeah. The dude who owned it owned like 500 acres.
Oh wow!
And then we was on a small part of this 500 acres on top of the mountain.
Wow.
Yeah. So
to even think there's 500 acres up there.
Yeah, and it was. He had people who owned other acres up there too. Like this it was big up there.
Yeah.
Like once you get to the gate. To actually get to the farm, like, it was probably another 2 or 3 miles.
Wow.
So, like, you'll see the gate, and, like, the gate will be right here, and you'll think, like, oh, man. But then you'll start driving. You're like, dude, this is a long dirt road. And you're driving through them, like, you're on top of a mountain. So, dude doesn't have a regular driveway. He bought the equipment to make a driveway. So, it's like, certain times, like, if it rained a lot, you would be stuck up there because you would have to drive through a creek. And if it rained up there or with the snow melted, the creek would be full. And there was no way, unless you had like a truck that has like a 10-inch lift kit on it, you wasn't getting through the creek.
Oh, wow. So when you were stuck up there, did he have like accommodations for that?
Oh, yeah. We had, like I said, we had plenty of gas cans.
Okay.
They had big trucks to be able to get through it because they was working. They had the farm like for years before they even met me.
Gotcha.
And we had generators that we was running, had little mini refrigerators up there. We had a TV, the Xbox up there.
Nice. Get on the game.
Get on the game.
Yeah.
Yep. So we had the DVDs, a lot of movies up there to watch and stuff on our downtime when we wasn't doing anything. So getting us stuck up there wasn't a bad thing. I really miss it.
Yeah, getting away.
Yeah, getting away, being away. Because I got to the point to where I'd come down and see my phone and be like, dude, the world is hectic.
Yeah,
and up there, it's just you and the plants and nature. So, like, I would come down, I couldn't get to the way till I get back on top of the mountain so I could get away from the BS.
Right. Wow. That's powerful. So, what would you say? What would you say the number one thing you learned about growing then up there? Like, what is one of the biggest factors of growing?
The number one thing I learned about growing is patience.
Yeah.
It's patience, and it takes a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
Because you think you would just put the seed in the ground and let it sprout, and then after a certain amount of time it'll start to bud, and then you cut it off and you hang it up and dry and you smoke it. But it's so much that goes in between it that I learned that it's hard work. I say the hardest thing I learned is hard work, and it's no days off. That's your life. It's the plants. Make sure they're watered. Make sure they're cleaned. Cleaning plants, give it more power. So leaves that's at the bottom of the plants, and this is with any plants. This is just a garden period.
Right.
Plants that don't see sunlight, that's what plants get the power is through the leaf, photosynthesis.
Right.
So if you have leaves that's never seeing sun, they're taking power from the plant that could make the plant bigger and stronger, because those leaves are still needing nutrients, but they're not giving the plant. They're taking, but they're not giving anything to it.
Right.
So you would have to take those leaves off, and by taking those leaves off, it made the plant stronger and bigger.
Right. Okay. All right. From experiencing that legalization in California, how far are we away from getting there here in Tennessee, do you think?
We're gonna be far. I mean, we're not that far, but it's still a little ways out, because you have to look at, like, I think last year Tennessee brought in $30 billion in tourism.
Right.
So I always tell people, like, for instance,
about to make the sound better, y'all.
for instance, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Oklahoma, what type of revenue does the state bring in?
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know, but they don't, besides like probably farmland, like they don't have nothing in Oklahoma.
Right.
Tennessee, we have the Smoky Mountains. We are agricultural state, so we sell a lot of produce and meat to other states.
Right.
So we bring in money. So the people up top don't necessarily need, because the biggest thing that you could tell people that weed's gonna do is gonna bring y'all a lot of money.
Yeah.
This is gonna bring if you legalize weed, it's gonna bring you a lot of money. You'll be able to tax it. You'll be able to make a lot more money off of that. Licensing, all that.
Yeah.
But when you're bringing in $30 billion a year off of tourism, and it's only gonna go up because Nashville's only getting bigger, and more people are only moving into Tennessee, and then you got the Smoky Mountains. You can go to Chattanooga, and we Nashville, Memphis, and then you still are an agricultural state. It's really like they don't need weed money right now.
Right.
They don't need it. Arkansas, Oklahoma, places like that, Michigan, they need it. What does Michigan do? All the car companies left.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So like, what does Michigan bring in? Like, it's cold up there, so it's like you can't grow. So like, what does the state have to be able to produce money?
You're gonna find the cheapest weed in Michigan.
No, for sure.
Got the cheapest weed.
For sure, because they know, like, the only thing we really get is weed. So I don't know. I'll probably say the next 5 years, because because Nashville already got bars that serve like TAC restaurants.
Right.
They're already moving there. We legalized CBD, so that's the first step. So I'll probably say the next 5 years it'll probably be legal.
Yeah, and they've got all these like these THC weed alternatives, THC 0, THC 8, THC 9, and like the level of confusion
You know what's crazy about that?
What?
It's all weed.
Yes, it's all weed.
It's like the only difference is how long you let the budding process last. So after the weed starts to bud and starts to grow THC, because when the weed first starts to bud, no THC is grown. THC doesn't actually start being produced till let's say if it takes 12 weeks. Let's say if it takes 12 weeks for it to fully bud. THC might not start producing until the 8th week, the 7th week. So the first 7 weeks, the bud is just getting bigger and bigger, but it's not going to get you high because it hasn't produced the chemical to get you high yet, which is THC.
Right.
So with THC Delta 8 and Delta 9, all that is let's say you're supposed to harvest on week 12. They might harvest week 10, or they might harvest week 17. They might let it stay on there an extra 7 weeks past it, and now the chemical that gets you high has altered because it's not in the sweet period that you really wanted it. So that's all it is. So all that is just no, you can't go out and buy Delta 8 weed plants. There's no such thing. You go get a regular weed plant and you harvest it 5 weeks after you're really supposed to, and that's Delta 8.
And that's what I say the confusion is. If I go and put a bunch of plants out there, it's like, hey, I'm doing Delta 8 out here. Where does the legalities draw the line? It's one of them things, and then, you get pulled over. Well, I'm smoking THC 9. I'm not smoking weed. Where does the legalities lie on that? Where, how do you know? How do you even know? I know there ain't no cop on the street that just know the difference between it just looking at it. You can sell a sack of THC 9 so they can tell them it's weed.
Yep.
They ain't gonna know, and they gonna get high, and that on that. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. That's why a lot of cops don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. Like, this isn't CBD. This is weed. Like, no, it's not. It's CBD. It could be weed, but they can't
hold
tell
your receipts.
Yeah, hold your receipts. That's all I can say.
Receipts.
Because
forever.
There's no difference between like a CBD bud and a marijuana bud.
Right.
Like you can't, like if you put two buds together, you really not gonna know the difference unless you smoke it and be like, hey, this didn't get me high.
Right.
I feel relaxed, but I don't.
But some of the shit still get you high.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah, some of the shit still get you high, but maybe not as high as you. But what I've noticed about a lot of like the legal and some of these alternatives and stuff, to me, the high is slightly different, but it's also, to me, a lot of it lasts longer than it needs to. Like if you smoke some weed and you get your high and anything, go to bed, get up there, you good, da 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 da. But a lot of this, like this stuff they selling, this lab made and stuff, man, you can get high off of that shit, go to bed, wake up, you still like, damn, I'm still high, different high. But you're still high.
No, for sure, it's a different high. Well, I just saw where Snoop Dogg stopped smoking.
Yep.
Wow. Because they saying that the weed is not. It's going to lab weed. It's not the same.
It's not.
It's not the same, and these celebrities are starting to see it.
Yeah. That stuff. That's some different shit.
That's some different shit.
Yeah. So I don't know. It is what it is.
Yeah, it is.
The kids got the cartridges. They in the schools with the cartridges. You can't smell it.
You can't. And they're getting hot. Like, it's crazy. It's times is changing.
It is.
Times is changing.
It's time to just go ahead and legalize.
No, for sure.
Because the confusion is, they smoking over here 20 miles that way and it's okay, and we smoking over here and now I'm in prison.
No, for sure. And a lot of that got to do with big farm too.
Oh yeah. Yes.
A lot of that got to do with the big farms. Yes. Yeah. So yeah, they don't want. You get anxiety. We got a blunt for that. Nah, they want you to take Xanax.
Yes.
They want you to. They still want to sell you Xanax.
We gonna give it to you by the buttload.
Yep. Or you can't focus. You got ADHD. We gotta give you Ritalin.
Yeah.
We don't need you. We gotta give you Adderall. We don't need you smoking a blunt or CBD to calm down. That's crazy talk.
Right.
You could buy a $10 CBD blunt, however much it is, to calm down, that helps your ADHD. Now, Big Pharma wants to do that. So then you can start getting these sicknesses from the Adderall, and then they can start selling you something else.
Right.
So that's really the big reason I always say that weed is not completely legal yet, because once weed becomes legal, other things is going to take a loss.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, or even psychedelic mushrooms. This has been proven that 80% of people who take the psychedelic mushrooms, who's trying to beat something, whether it's heroin, drinking, whatever their vice is, 80% of people who take psychedelics stop taking. They are successful at beating the whatchamacallit.
Right.
So you telling me that I can grow something at a super cheap price and have you beat your addiction versus me selling you these things? So like it's like you say, go back to what we was talking about earlier with gas.
Yeah.
It's a money thing, and a lot of people are getting rich off of stuff, which we could legalize something cheaper that's a lot better.
Yes. More environmentally better, more for your health better, more ethically better.
Yep.
So, yeah. Absolutely. In this area alone, the opiate crisis caused the heroin crisis here.
Yeah, and if you gave people mushrooms and helped them beat it for whatever in the right quantities, whatever imbalances they have with depression or whatever it is, that helps. It helps that.
Right.
And then it also helps them beat the fact, because just being on mushrooms they have mushroom therapy in certain states, like in Denver. If you go see a psychiatrist, the psychiatrist will give you a psychedelic mushroom.
Yeah.
And then they'll be there and talk to you as you're going through your trip and help you learn. And it has helped a lot of people. But at the same time, it's going back to, it's easy to grow mushrooms versus it's cheaper versus giving somebody Xanaxes.
Right. You get to build the insurance and they paying on it.
Yep.
And they doing this and that. So yeah, that's it's crazy. It's crazy, man. I'm not gonna hold you too much long. I know you need to get out of here. I appreciate you coming on. Tell them where they can contact you and like be able, if they need to book you to do some mixing and mastering, whatever it may be.
Oh yeah, I'm back in the mixing game now. So if you need to get at me, Adrian Kinzer on Facebook, Mixed by Topp. That's MI with 2 X's, ED by TOPP. That's my Instagram. And just, get at me, shoot me a message in there, and just, we can take it from there.
There it is, y'all. There it is. I thank everybody for tuning in and listening to Topp's story. There's more to the story. We don't run out of time, y'all.
It's a lot more to the story. And some of the stuff, maybe we just got to get on there another day and just pod again.
Yeah,
because I can tell you some crazy stories about Oakland. And just really the mindset of the people out there is different.
Is it? Give us a type. What kind of different mindset we talking?
It's a hustle. It's a hustler's mindset. Like, small towns have a lot of people sit back and talk about other people.
Right.
Out there, they don't have time. For one, it's so big.
Yeah.
That I could tell you about somebody, and you might know them because it's no matter how big the world is, it's still small.
Right.
But a lot of things, like, they don't care. They don't have time for it. It's how am I gonna hustle, make money?
Right.
How am I gonna do this? So like out there, it really taught me like you got to be about your hustle, because out there you don't have time. Like rent is high. I had a 450 square foot apartment paying $2,200 a month for it. Yeah, so you don't have time to sit back and talk about the next person.
Right.
Gossip. You gotta. What's gonna make you money?
Yeah. Get in your bag.
Yeah, you gotta get in your bag. So
out
there, that's one thing I learned, and it's some more stuff. Like it's the women out there are different.
Yeah. Women out there,
they some hustlers for sure.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
But it doesn't even be looked down on out there.
No.
It's not looked down upon out there. They like, oh, you hustling? You getting money?
Yeah.
Oh, you do your thing, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I know. It's like that in most cities. People don't realize that.
Yeah. Most cities is.
Yeah.
It's a different walk of life out there for sure, but it's beautiful, and just getting a lot of people out there, a lot of black people's in touch with their innerness too, with the black side. Oakland is where the Black Panther started.
Right.
So a lot of people out there is really into like their art, black history and stuff. So being out there was pretty dope too, just seeing people like it's a hospitality out there that's real.
And in the city too, there's like people. You have a lot of black doctors. You have black dentists. You have all these different people who can motivate. You know. In the South, we got a lot of slave mentality stuff go on. People, I'm just gonna live in my grandmama's house and I'm gonna do this and do that. Well, out there, you can find you a black doctor, a mentor that practice, a black lawyer, and we got some here. But in the city,
it's a whole different game. It's like Dion. Reason he went to the Falcons was because of the city.
Yeah.
When he went to visit the Falcons, that was the first time he went to a city to where he saw black bankers, black lawyers, black doctors, black police officers like that. Like everything is black, black, black. So he was like, oh man, I've never seen nothing like that.
Right.
I'm coming from Florida to where you know how Florida is. So he's like, oh man, this is like I'm going to other cities. This remind me of Florida. Atlanta is Atlanta.
Yeah.
So I get it. Like, so that's one thing I really loved about it out there was the people and just the mindset. Like everybody's like, it's hustling. They want to get it. They out. They doing something.
Right.
They trying to better their lives somehow, and it's pretty dope.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, man, I appreciate you coming on.
I appreciate you too,
I'm gonna
bro.
get you out of here. I know you got an agenda of things you got to get to. Guys, stay tapped in. Stay tuned in. We got so much going on. We're in the process of an animated movie. We're in the process of doing some comedy for you guys. We got so much going on. And just stay tapped in. We ain't going nowhere. We're in the building process right now, okay? We're not going nowhere, all right? Well, I guess from here on out, I would stay blessed. Don't stress. Life is just a test.
For sure.
WhoDat?
You're now rocking with DJ.
They're not from around. It's gotta be my imagination. I think it's an invasion. I think it's an invasion. I think it's
DJ
an
Skinny.
invasion. They not from around.
Let's go. Respect the DJ.
Slip and slide DJ.
It's gotta be my imagination. I think it's an invasion. I think it's an invasion. I think it's